Okay. Oops, I'm still on mute. What I'm going to have us do is we're going to, because vocab is important, right? We're going to do an activity to get familiar with the vocab words in chapter 14, okay? There's a lot of content-specific or reconstruction-specific vocab, and it's important for us to be familiar with it because then we'll have a better understanding of what's going on overall, right? If we know the vocab, we'll know what's going on as we're reading, as we're working through these other things, okay? So, we've done Desmos before, but quickly just to go over what we're doing here, what the goal is, go ahead and click on the assignment. When you open it up, it's going to ask you for your name. You'll need to enter in, do at least your first and your last initial, if not your full name, okay? So when you click on there, it'll open up. Right, so I put my name in and I'm going to say go. And so on this activity in particular, there's the definition, so the vocab word, and then there's a picture along with the description. Okay, so there's the term and then there's the definition. Our goal is to match them up correctly. Okay, so before we get started, I just want us all to have this open. I'm gonna play a video that's going to, has anyone ever done vocabulary before in your other classes? No. Okay, so vocabulary is pretty much like, you know how Brain Pop has Tim and Moby? Vocabulary is videos, but it's like music videos, okay? So it's going to be a song about Reconstruction. It's going to introduce to us some new words. I want us to have our Desmos activity up, so as we're going throughout the video, you can start to match them, but we also have time after we watch the video to match them, okay? I'm going to give us about 15 minutes to work on it, first together and then independently. But I wanted us to open this up before we watch the video so we know what words we're looking for, right? So we have Reconstruction, cash crop, literacy test, Freedmen's Bureau, black codes, right? Grandfather clause are just a couple, okay? So I'll have us watch the vocabulary video. Again, it's just going to be a short music video on Reconstruction.
The American Civil War, the bloodiest war in United States history, was fought between 1861 and 1865. The war ended when General Robert E. Lee surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant on April 9, 1865.
Finally, peace. After so many years of death and bloodshed in the streets, the Confederacy finally bended the knee and surrendered to the North reluctantly. But with the North and the South just suddenly be best friends, it was meant to be. 1865, the war may have been over, but down south it's like they were hit with a boulder. Congress had barely passed the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which legally abolished slavery. But what will these newly free people be? Down south, Lincoln set up the Freedmen's Bureau to help them get school food, medicine, and clothes. But many white Southerners resented the North's aggression, plus they intended to keep free blacks, the lowest class, keep them uneducated, poor and powerless. At the Lincoln's assassination, Johnson was leading. His approach to the South was a lot more lenient. The South set up black codes, laws to keep the black folk tied to the farm, thinking feels no back home. Blacks needed permission to travel and get work. Slavery dressed up in a new shirt.
Yeah, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments gave black folks a little independence. They freed the slaves slaves and made them citizens and said all races can vote. They were significant. 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments gave black folks a little independence. They freed the slaves and made them citizens and said all races can vote. They were significant.
Now, radical Republicans from the North weren't trying to let the South reset the course. They passed the 14th Amendment, which gave the freed slaves citizenship. Yeah, the law was pointing in the South's direction and gave freed slaves the law's protection. It includes the Equal Protection Clause. States must provide equal protection under law. And Congress took control of southern state legislatures and said, "Roll it as the bill seats in the chambers." The so-called carpetbaggers made sure that southern states didn't pass laws like before. And 60 black representatives were sent to Congress. It seemed to black folk like some progress. Then in 1870, the country ratified the 15th Amendment to the Constitution. It says men have the right to vote, no matter their race, no matter their skin tone, or if they were a slave. No black men now had the right to vote. But southern states about to let that happen? No. They came up with racist voting laws and poll taxes and literacy tests, all designed to stop blacks from voting. They were disenfranchised, okay? And the struggle for equal rights persists today.
Yeah, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments gave black folks a little independence. They freed the slaves and made them citizens and said all races can vote. They were significant. 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments gave black folks a little independence. They freed the slaves and made them citizens and said all races can vote. They were significant.
Okay. So I thought that was a good change up. I like that. I think it's a good way to sort of, again, think about Reconstruction and what we've been talking about, right? So again, like the brain pop, some things we're familiar with. We might have also heard some new vocab terminology, okay? So before I give us time to work independently, let's do a couple together just so we're familiar with how Desmos works so we can be clear on the directions, right? So we're going to do some that we should have background knowledge on as a class. When you're given independent time, you can use the textbook glossary or the internet to help you, again, match the term with the correct definition, okay? So let's start with one together in class, right? So when we're looking at, I'm going to pick this one, right? The period of rebuilding after the Civil War. What do we call that time period, Brady? Right, Reconstruction. So I'm going to drag Reconstruction over and match them together, right? So now I have a match, okay? Let's look at another one that we can do, right? So we talked about sharecropping on Monday. What would be the correct definition that we can match to sharecropping? Kyla, do you see the right one? Mm-hmm. Michaela, did you find it? Do you want to help her out? Correct, yeah. The type of farming where a person rents a small plot of land from a landowner in return for a portion of their crop, right? So we take sharecropping and drag it on over here, okay? So again, we can use the textbook, glossary, or the internet to help us with this. I'm going to give us some time to work independently on these, and then we'll review them together as a class, okay? Is there anyone in class who would like a hardcover textbook, or do you want to use the online? Okay, sounds good. Good question. And then I can check to see your progress. So let me know if you want me to check your work. I can give you clues as to which ones you might want to double check. Okay, so each picture should match with a word. Okay, there's one where it's just words and words together, but for the most part, it's going to be a term, like one short word, and then the picture with a description is what you're trying to match. Okay. Okay, and then if you need to, you can either use the internet, right? You can Google these words, or you can use the online textbook. And all of these words are going to be highlighted as you read through chapter 14. So you could just skim to look for the key highlighted words. Okay, would everybody like a couple more minutes? That'd be helpful. Okay, I'm going to give us about 5 minutes and check in to see how we're doing in 5 minutes. Oops. Okay, so let's go over a couple as a class real quick. So I'm going to go back to the one that we started earlier, right? We looked at Reconstruction and sharecropping, okay? So who thinks they know what the 13th Amendment did? Edward, what did the 13th Amendment do? Perfect. The 13th Amendment abolishes slavery, okay? This amendment abolished slavery, making enslaved people free. Perfect. So it's matched, and we can push it to the side. Okay? Next, let's look at a poll tax. How could we describe a poll tax, Chris? Didn't you match it already? I think you did.
That's not.
Okay. Oh, wait, shit, my TV's not on. I see Aaliyah's hand. I'm going to call on Aaliyah.
The people had to pay before voting.
Perfect. The people have to pay before voting, right? This one with the money here. Okay. So we can get one match out of the way. Perfect. How about a literacy test? How could you describe a literacy test, Amna?
A literacy test is the test required to allow people to vote.
Perfect.
It's difficult.
Awesome. The test required, right, to allow people to vote, and they're purposely difficult, so it's going to be hard to pass those. Okay? Then let's do a couple more together. So which amendment, right, this amendment granted citizenship to those formerly enslaved? Who thinks they know that one? Amendment 14, perfect, right? Free citizens vote, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so citizenship is number 14. Let's match that one up. Okay, Johnny Lopez, I know you know this next one. What's a cash crop? Perfect, a crop that can be sold for money, right? You're making a profit off of it. So it's not only you and your family are going to eat it, but you're going to sell it for money. Okay, and let's do one more. So who thinks they know what grandfather clause is? Did anybody get that one? Chris. Perfect. Laws allowed individuals who do not pass the literacy test to vote if their father or grandfather could vote before Reconstruction. Okay. So taking a look in a little bit, we're taking a look at the 15th Amendment, right? We know the 15th Amendment guarantees the right to vote, but we're going to see Southern opposition to this. So although the law technically allows this, the Southerners are going to try to find workarounds around that. So some of those vocab terms we just talked about, right? Literacy poll tax, literacy test, and grandfather clause are all going to play into how the 15th Amendment, we see it happening in the South. Okay? So what I'm going to do is give us our 5-minute break. And then we'll come back together as a class in a little bit. If you didn't finish this, go ahead and you can take this time to complete it if you want, or you can take your break with us. It will be due tonight by midnight though, so you don't technically turn it in on Desmos. You can just close it and I'll see your progress. But don't forget to turn it in on Classroom so it doesn't show as missing, right? You don't. You just close it when you're done. Yeah. Okay? So we'll come back at, let's do 2:36. Yeah. Okay. Or if anyone wants me to check theirs, I can. But I think for the most part, I checked them all.